People forget this, right? We went from 10,000 to 60,000 in about 4 months. I'll make a big statement. I've said this a couple times on Twitter. I believe this year, in 2024, which, by the way, is the first year of this epic, the blockchain era, the truth net, as I call it, I believe more money will be converted from fiat to Bitcoin than the previous 15 years of Bitcoin's existence. I think upwards of $300 billion is going to get converted into Bitcoin this year.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. Bitcoin worth $175,997,602, moved by largest crypto fund manager Grayscale to exchange, has moved a significant amount of Bitcoin within the past day to liquid exchange for a potential sell-off. Chinese reporter Colin Wu called attention to the development in a recent post on X. Coinbase has answered the SEC request for comments on the proposed rule change to list the ETH Grayscale fund as a spot ETF. Coinbase stated that Ether was a commodity, and its status has been publicly recognized in a variety of circumstances by U.S. agencies and courts.
Humans are going to push this thing well beyond fair value, and then investors are going to come in and say, okay, it's time to get short, and they're going to collapse it, and it might be governments or banks that manipulate like they did with the futures and, back in 17 and 21, who knows? But the bottom line is the reason we have this 4-year cycle in crypto, it's driven by the code in Bitcoin, and the code is not going to change. Every 4 years, we're going to have a halving, which means every 4 years, there's going to be this upward pressure on price to reward the miner. That's going to draw in the speculators and ultimately the gamblers who FOMO in at the top. And then we're going to crash. And those crashes will always be worse than fair value, right? When you crash, you don't go to fair value, you go through fair value because people panic and shorts get liquidated. Longs get liquidated. Leveraged longs get liquidated, not the shorts. The shorts make money. So I do think you're right that this cycle is exacerbated by the entrance of new ways to get demand. But that's been true of every cycle, right? The first cycle, when it was a science project, suddenly you could buy it not in the back alley, literally where you had to meet somebody and you had to worry about getting hit in the back of the head with a wrench, to you could do it at Mt. Gox, right? And then that failed. And then you could do it at Coinbase or Kraken. And that not failed, but then that got dicey.
Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has dismissed reports of his cryptocurrency exchange being blocked by Nigerian authorities. He emphasized that Coinbase products are fully operational in Nigeria without any interruptions. We have not received any outreach or communication from officials in Nigeria, the Coinbase executive affirmed. Meanwhile, Binance has reportedly admitted that some users in Nigeria are experiencing issues accessing its platform. Data indicates that we're 96% through the journey to the next Bitcoin halving event, with under 2 months remaining until the reward for mining a block is reduced from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoins. Although it's still premature to pinpoint the precise date, given the average 10-minute interval between blocks, the event is anticipated to take place in about 57 days.
People forget this, right? We went from 10,000 to 60,000 in about 4 months because GBTC got $10 billion of demand into their trust. That was what drove that cycle. Now also, you had some Michael Saylor buying, and you had a few others, and you had Elon's famous quote where we're not going to take it for Tesla, and it crashed. Remember, it went from February down to June, down 50% before it rallied into November when he's like, oh, I'm kidding, you can go back and buy it. So there was plenty of demand, and what's going to happen every cycle is there's going to be a new avenue for demand. So this cycle isn't the trust, GBTC, it's the ETFs. And the next cycle, maybe it'll be derivative products, or maybe it'll be the institutionalization or the Wall Streetization.
Or small countries.
And then it'll be small countries. Then one of these cycles, it's going to be central banks, right? Literally, central banks are going to say, I got all this gold, and it's expensive to store, and it's kind of cumbersome. I could put a lot of Bitcoin right on this little phone and just put it in the vault.
Legilex and the Crypto Freedom Alliance of Texas, a crypto nonprofit, have teamed up to introduce a complaint against the actions of the SEC towards actors in the digital asset industry in America. The complaint alleges that the SEC has no regulatory powers over these crypto companies, having usurped functions not given to it by Congress.
Then what happens is we'll get to crypto fall, which is the June period post the halving. That's when the craziness starts to happen. That's when the FOMO happens. Then we get into Thanksgiving, and everybody goes home, and everybody's patting them on the back and come on in. You get 2 turkey legs this year, whereas 2 years ago you're not invited anymore. You're disinvited if you're a crypto person. So now we're going to get that FOMO top, and in the past, that's gone to 2.3 times fair value. So when fair value was 30,000 in the last cycle, we got to 68, 69. This time, let's say we only get 2 times because there's not as much leverage this time because they cracked down on Binance and others. So let's say we get 2 times, that'd be 150. I think that's baked in the cake. So anyway, that's a long answer to a simple question.
That's exactly.
Why are ETFs important? They're important. They're really important. And it's because the demand isn't going away. That demand, I'll make a big statement. I've said this a couple times on Twitter. I believe this year, in 2024, which, by the way, is the first year of this epic, the blockchain era, the truth net, as I call it, I believe more money will be converted from fiat to Bitcoin than the previous 15 years of Bitcoin's existence. I think upwards of $300 billion is going to get converted into Bitcoin this year.
If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.